Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review. This is the match reaction from England 1, Croatia 0. So welcome to the show. I'm flying solo today. Jayde unfortunately had family commitments today, so couldn't actually make it. But I'm looking forward to seeing what your guys' input is and how you thought the match went. For me, you know, happy that obviously we get 3 points. We start the tournament with a win. That's the main thing. Performance-wise, you know, there's still improvements there to be made, definitely. And I think a couple of changes to the squad. I was very surprised with the team. Obviously, Grealish not being involved, and I don't know whether you guys have the same thinking as myself, that maybe something isn't quite right between Grealish and Southgate, because when it comes to the big games, he doesn't really feature, which is a shame, because I think Grealish is a match winner. He changes games in an instant, but it's a win, and we have to be very, very happy with that. If we take a look at the starting lineup, this is what I mean. Obviously, Pickford starting in goal, Kyle Walker at right back. We had Kieran Trippier at left back. Now, that one I didn't quite understand, because we know that Trippier is a right back, not a left back, but he played at left back when we've got two very good left backs who are pretty much in form in Luke Shaw and Chilwell. So I didn't quite understand that one. However, you know, we can't complain. Trippier did a decent job there for me today. Centre-backs with John Stones and Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings worries me every time the ball's near him. But again, to be fair to Tyrone Mings, I thought he did very well and stayed sharp and did what he needed to do. In the middle, I thought Calvin Phillips was absolutely superb today. Without a doubt, the man of the match. He broke play down so many times. And I don't agree a lot with commentators on a regular basis, but Jermaine Genius came out and said that, you know, it was the little fouls that he was giving away, just breaking the Croatians' play up without getting booked. You know, these little niggly fouls, and he kept getting away with it. And obviously, in the end, it worked a treat, because he broke down Croatia's play. They were unable to put any sustained attack and pressure on. And at the end of the day, Jordan Pickford didn't have a save to make. The goal itself was beautiful. Played through to Calvin Phillips. He let the ball come onto him, totally bamboozled the defender. Then he took another one on, slid the ball brilliantly through to Sterling, who I thought took the goal very well, because, you know, one thing that we've been critical of Sterling quite a lot in the past is his finishing, which has improved at Manchester City, and certainly today he finished it well, because he knew the defender was coming in, but he kept his eye on the ball, he kept his timing right, and at the end of the day it hit the back of the net. So again, Pickford didn't have a save to make, which we've got to take as a massive bonus, to be fair. Joshua says, good vibes, certainly are. James says, great to see Raheem Sterling score England's first goal of the tournament, especially Wembley being close to where he grew up. Yeah, they said that during the commentary, didn't they? And it was massive moment for him, and a very good moment for him as well. So I'm really pleased for him. James, Calvin Phillips is my man of the match, without a doubt. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Chip is good afternoon. Glad we got the win, but I still think we need to improve big time for me. Grealish has to start, and a natural left back must play too. Yeah, there was certain times in that, especially the first half, when we came down their left. And we played it into Trippier, and had it been a left-footed player, he could have, you know, fizzed the ball across, which is what we expect. So the likes of Luke Shaw or Chilwell running onto the ball and pinging that ball across. That's what we kind of need when you've got a right-sided player. You know, he'll always cut back onto his right if he's not confident on his left foot, and that happened a couple of times. So yes, definitely, I'd say we need somebody who's going to be, you know, either Shaw or Chilwell for me has to come in, which would be a little unfair on Trippier, because he did play well today. But I thought Raheem Sterling helped him out an awful lot. I mean, Raheem got back, especially the second half. He was back helping out Trippier a hell of a lot during that game. But I do improve. You know, let's remember, though, it's the first game of the tournament. We've done what we had to do, and we've got the win, and that's the most important thing for me today. Lee, good afternoon to you. We all know why England won today. Well done, Gateshead Guardiola. Yeah, I mean, he was very, very animated, wasn't he, in the dugout, especially in the second half where injuries were. He was coming back, and he was coming on the pitch and talking to the players. Lee thinks it's coming home. Sean is saying, hi, Jayde. Well, Jayde's not here today, Sean, unfortunately. Lisa's still room for improvement from this England side, but a win's a win. I think we need to see Sterling and Sancho on the wing, and Kane as the forward and behind. Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's different routes that Gareth Southgate can go. It depends on what he actually wants to do. we know that England have the capabilities to play different systems. So I think I'm very much looking forward to seeing the tournament grow and who he brings in. Does he change the team to suit the team that we're playing against, or does he just continue to play the same team if we're getting results? That's what I want to see from Southgate. I want to see him, maybe against Scotland. I certainly think we can go more attacking, without a doubt. So it'll be interesting. Mike Sack, have you changed your mind on Phillips? He was brilliant today. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely fantastic. And again, I'll reiterate, it was those little niggly fouls that he was making that were making all the difference. Those little trips when, Croatia were trying to break, especially Modric. He continued to chase Modric down throughout the game. And Modric found it very, very difficult to have any kind of influence, because it was wonderful. Little trips here and there. But other times he won the ball as well. I'm not saying he gave fouls away all the time, but it was that type of performance from Phillips that really, really made us be really strong today, I thought. Thomas says, hi, good afternoon. Peter says, not the greatest of games, but we'll take that. Calvin Phillips, man of the match. I think we're all agreed on Calvin Phillips without a shadow of a doubt. I thought he was excellent today. Jake says, what a win, guys. Paul, Sterling has had a poor season, but fair play to the lad for his goal today. Yeah, he's been terrible this season. I mean, he's lost his place to Foden in the Man City team, so it was a bit of a kick in the teeth for him. But, credit to him. I wasn't expecting Sterling to start today, but he did, and he did a job. He looked very sharp from early doors. He looked really good early doors. And obviously the goal he took very, very well, because, like I say, he knew that defender was coming in at 100 miles an hour to try and make a challenge on him. But it was important for Sterling to keep his eye on the ball and get his timing right with the finish. He did what he had to do. Sterling in the past may have just panicked a little bit and either blazed that over or not taking his chance straight away and the defender come in and clear it. But he stayed very, very sharp onto that, and it was a good goal in the end. Ryan says, is it me or do fans overhype Grealish? He came back from a major injury, but what about our money, Mason Mount? Spinning players, no wonder clubs are raiding our academy for loans. Listen, Mason Mount's one of my favourite young players in the Premier League. There's no doubt about it. However, I do think Grealish needs to be in the team. Now, if we do go more attacking against Scotland, which I think we should, then maybe take a defensive midfielder out. Either, I think, Calvin Phillips has to start against Scotland and maybe take Declan Rice out. I don't think Declan Rice was particularly influential today. I'm not saying he had a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but, if we're going to try and go a bit more attacking, then maybe bring Grealish in for Rice. And see what he can do. But I'm a big fan of Grealish as well. Undoubtedly, I am. I think he's a match winner. He can win you free kicks in very dangerous areas. But, I'm not taking anything away from Mason Mount because he's one of my favourite players in the Premier League, and I think he played very well today. Very well. Ross says Mings was really good. Would you agree? He did what he had to do. Yes, Ross. I think. I'm not Tyrone Mings' biggest fan, and I don't think a lot of England fans are, to be honest. But, given that he maybe had to play today due to Harry Maguire still being injured, I'm very, very pleased with the way he came through the game. I mean, there was no sort of nervous moments for me with Tyrone Mings. Maybe the one in the first, was it the second half when he kind of went to, no, it was yes, it was the second half. I'm sure it was when he went to clear it and it hit the Croatian forward very early on in the second half, and it could have looped over Pickford's head, but it didn't in the end. But just be a bit more decisive there. But no, I thought he was fine. Certainly no problems. I mean, let's remember Pickford didn't have a really big save to make. I mean, he had there was shots coming in from outside the box in the second half, which he dealt with pretty well, but nothing really worried me that Croatia were going to score today. Chongle says Cody above Mings every time. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Cody as well from Wolves. But come on, we can't be critical. I mean, the guy did nothing wrong today. Had he been terrible or made loads of mistakes, then yes, I would have said something as well. But he didn't, and that's the thing for me. He played okay. Paul, good afternoon. Amazed that Rio took time out from kissing Ashley's backside to do punditry. I know. I think it's coming home, Paul. How do we reckon the Scots will do against the Czechs tomorrow? I actually fancy Scotland to win that game. I'm not a big fan of the Czech Republic. I don't think they really have any standout quality players that can do Scotland any damage. I mean, Scotland, let's face it, have done very well to get where they are. I think they'll probably sneak a 1-0 or something tomorrow, a 1-0 or a 2-1, and then get hammered off us. which is what I want to see. Jakes has got to remember that that the longer Bielsa stays in England, the better our future England players will be. Phillips and White are just the beginning. Yeah, Phillips outstanding today, no doubt about it. I think he's not wanting to get ahead of myself, but is that Group 1 already? I think for England, I think in Southgate, I think this game today was probably the standout one for them. Obviously, I know we play the old enemy, you know, on Friday and things like that against Scotland. But when you're looking at the quality of teams in the group, I really do think Southgate will have been looking at this one and thinking, right, this is, you know, we get 3 points against Croatia. That's going to put us in a wonderful situation to win the group. So I think from a coaching point of view, from the management team at England, they'll have been looking at that game thinking, right, let's get 3 points today. We beat Croatia and we're pretty much guaranteed to go through, because I really think we'll beat Scotland and I think we'll beat the Czech Republic if we play a bit more attacking. I think you know, the shackles need to come off a bit against the lesser teams. That was by far the hardest game in the group, so we'd have to work hard not to win it yet. Totally agree. Beats is Calvin Phillips, man of the match, 100%. Scots will win 1-0, says Anton. Yeah, I mean, you know, I say 1-0 or a 2-1 to Scotland tomorrow. I think it would be nice, I think, for Scotland to win, because that makes the game against England huge, doesn't it? It really builds it up nicely if Scotland are also on 3 points when they meet on Friday. From a kind of point of view that both teams really have to go at it to win the group, that would be great, you know, if Scotland can get the 3 points. So I'm actually hoping they do in a way. Paul says, glad we won, but no one looks at that performance and is worried about facing us. With what we have, we could be far more expansive. Yeah, I think we will be, Paul. I think it's just the fact that it's the first game. You know, I mean, you know, if you look back over recent, you know, well, any tournament really, there is teams that are very, very slow starting. You know, it's the first game. It's very cagey because, you know, you want to get the 3 points and you want to make sure that you don't concede. And I think that's probably what Southgate's view of that was today, that we needed to just get the 3 points, get the game over with and build ourselves into the tournament. And I think that's what we'll be doing. Hopefully, if we don't, then I'll be very disappointed, to be honest. Though I can imagine the game versus Scotland being a iffy game for a while before we get a goal. It's going to be a good game, to be honest, either way. When was he getting criticism? Us Leeds fans always knew how good he is, Super Calvin. Yeah, I mean, you know, Calvin Phillips, for me, I mean, he was a surprise inclusion in the team today for me, because I honestly thought Grealish would have started and he maybe just going with one holding midfielder. He didn't. Calvin Phillips came in, and I think he's proved everybody wrong. He was absolutely fantastic today. So hats off to him. Chance 2 home nations can get through to the knockouts. Would love to see that. Yeah, there's an opportunity there, and I think that's what everybody will be looking at. I mean, I'd love Wales to get through as well, but I think Wales are in a tough position. And watching them yesterday, I really, you know, there's nothing in that Wales side. I mean, Bale doesn't even look interested, to be honest. Let's face it, does he? He's got this announcement at the end of the season, or at the end of the tournament, sorry, and he just doesn't look interested. He doesn't look like he really wants it, like he did in 2016 when Wales got to the semi-finals. You know, he looked so hungry there. I'm not saying he's not hungry for it, but maybe, you know, his heart's just not in it as it was. And I've heard a few people say that today. And Eze has an England future. Without a doubt, he does. Paul says, such a shame that Southgate will drop Phillips for Hendo at the earliest opportunity. I think he'd be crazy to do that, because I think Phillips has just stamped his authority on that position, even over Declan Rice, if I'm honest, because I thought Phillips was, you know, shone much brighter than what, you know, what Declan Rice did today. So I think it's very important that Calvin Phillips came in today and did a job, and he damn well did. He was absolutely fantastic, and I think it would be a disgrace if he dropped him for Henderson. It's a good job Sterling scored, because at the end of the day, goals win games. That's the classic, Geordie. Beats says, hopefully Rice dropped for next match. Grealish comes in. No need to play 2 defensive midfielders against Scotland. I completely agree with that, Beat. There's no reason at all that we should be playing 2 defensive midfielders against Scotland. I think today, yes, first game of the tournament, we needed to maybe just grab that goal, see out the game, get the 3 points and give ourselves a little bit of relief going into the next 2 games, saying, right, we've already got 3 points. You know, this game against Scotland, let's be a bit more expansive. Let's go for them a little bit and try and maybe get a few goals. Geordie says England Euro 96. 1-1 against Switzerland in the opening game, and we came good again. I just think, we have to understand it's the first game, and let's not really overreact to certain players and things like that. We're all England fans here. We want us to do well. And to be honest, it was a big win today. Big win. Need to be careful against Scotland because we're facing a Ryan Fraser fresh off a season in Newcastle's physio room. That's correct, Jake. And as I've said many times, he'll probably have a blistering tournament and then come back for pre-season with Newcastle injured. That's just the way I think it'll go. Thoughts on Mings today, says Geordie. I thought he was okay. Nothing spectacular, but also nothing erratic or poor from him. I thought he did a job. He did what he had to do. I think him and Stones kept Croatia at bay. Stones, for me, was very, very vocal today, and I like to see that with Stones. He's been accused of being a bit quiet in the past, but he was certainly vocal today. Whenever the cameras panned on them, once the ball had gone out to play or something like that, he was very, very vocal, and I was really pleased to see that. Mings did fine. No complaints at all. But obviously, as the tournament goes on, once Maguire gets fit, I'd probably have him in front of him. Steve says, would love Scotland to get through just because of Liam Cooper. Lee says, what are your thoughts on Eriksen? Sorry if you don't want to talk about. No, it's fine. Because I was going to say, what I saw yesterday on that in that Denmark game was just horrific. I mean, a lot of people about the cameras and I was disgusted that the camera stayed on and actually zoomed in when he was getting CPR. And it will haunt a lot of people seeing Eriksen's eyes, lifeless eyes. It was just a really surreal situation. And I honestly thought he was gone. I really do. And I think a lot of people did as well. Thought he was gone. I don't think the game should have continued that night. I think, UEFA did give them a chance to kick off at midday today, and I think probably they should have done that. But hey ho, the players received a FaceTime from Eriksen at the hospital to say, to go and play. So it's fantastic that he's alive. Because I think that's just the main thing here. The football was irrelevant last night, to be honest. Seeing the pictures emerge of him, sitting up as he was stretchered off, because we didn't see that. So everybody, obviously, once he'd gone off the pitch, was extremely, extremely worried about the situation. But luckily, the medics have done a fantastic job. Anthony Taylor, the English referee, hats off to him, because he realised the situation, the seriousness very, very quickly. He got him the attention straight away. So hats off to him. I'm so pleased that he's stable now and making a recovery, which is football doesn't come into it. I think from his family's point of view, certainly his wife and little one, I don't think they'll be bothered whether he plays football again, to be honest, just as long as they have their husband and dad back, which I think is the main thing. So thoughts and prayers still go out to Eriksen, and we just hope that he makes a full recovery and he gets back to his family as soon as possible, because that was one of the scariest things I've ever seen on a football pitch, and one of the most surreal things. I was in bits yesterday, like everybody else watching. It was awful, but it's just magnificent that he's stable now and hopefully on that road to recovery. Paul says, do you think level 7? Dave saw it. No, I don't. I don't even think he'll probably know that the England game was on today. Dave's sitting on London Bridge today. Wow. Lee says, I thought he was gone as well. Jungle, BBC is a disgrace showing that to children. BBC did say that it was UEFA's television right. UEFA were doing the TV. However, that for me, that doesn't stop the BBC actually, cutting the footage and going back to Gary Lineker in the studio. I don't think Gary Lineker or any of the pundits deserved the hammer they got on social media yesterday, by the way. I thought that was a bit sad, because Gary Lineker, at the end of the day, he had to, it wasn't his fault, and seeing Alex Scott get very upset, that just tells you how emotional, she was. So it was a bit of a shame that Gary Lineker got all the flack and some of the pundits. But at the end of the day, I think the BBC could have just cut the coverage and gone straight back to the studio and kept everybody informed as it was going on. We didn't need to keep the cameras on there, whether it was UEFA or not. I'm sure BBC had their opportunity to turn it off. He says, what do you think of our chances against Portugal, France, Germany, or Spain in the knockouts, depending on other results, if we do win the group based on today's game? Look, to be honest, I'm not really going to base anything on today's game because I want to see us in the next couple of games. I want to see how we go about those two games. Like I said earlier, this is the first game of the tournament for England, and I think it would be very wrong to try and maybe judge them too much today. Because I think all about the day was getting the 3 points, getting over the line, and then building the tournament as we go on. So I'll answer that more as we, after the match reaction against Scotland and obviously the Czechs as well. Steve says, not only convinced on Southgate, but it feels a lot better than the Hodgson area. Oh God, that's just non-debatable. That to be honest, Steve, that is without a shadow of a doubt. There is no way in hell that it's the same kind of feeling that under Hodgson. It's about time UEFA and the FA should start having defibrillators available from the highest level right through to grassroots football. Yeah, there really isn't any excuse for not having one there, to be honest. Ethan, good afternoon. I hope people shut up about Southgate. Judging performances, results, not the team selection. People actually think they know more than the manager. It's coming home. That's confidence from Ethan there. Nothing wrong with that. You know what? I think, you'll get the usual people on the bandwagon today saying, oh, we didn't play well or we look poor. But for me, it's the first game. It's the first game that we need to get 3 points in, and we've done exactly that. Showing Eriksen's wife on the verge of a breakdown was a disgrace too. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Paul says, relieved that Eriksen is still with us. Awful thing to watch. Love Eriksen, glad he's okay. Surprised Foden started today. Thought he would have been safe for Friday, to be honest. I'm not surprised Foden played because I think Foden is a talent, and I was so unlucky hitting the post in the first half. Lovely little move, kept us cool, and maybe just took that little nick, didn't it, off the defender, and that's what maybe forced it onto the post. But credit to him. I mean, Foden's a great player. For me, I want to see Grealish as one of the central defensive midfielders come out on Friday. For me, it should be Declan Rice and Grealish put in, and let's really go and try to score some goals against the Scots, which we need to see, really. Bede, is there any truth in a report we might have £50 million budget instead of the original quoted 12? It seems to be. But who knows? I guess we'll see over the summer. That's fair, Paul. I guess I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Hey, there's no reason for that. Everybody does that at the tournament, mate. That's the thing. Everybody looks forward to the games and thinking, right, who have we got coming up? But I think it's very important that we get through these couple of games first, especially against Scotland. Let's see where we lie on Friday night after the Scottish game, and then see how we played. Have we gone at them to try and win? I think if we do sit back against the better teams, I think we'll be in trouble. I think England are always better when they go on the front foot, and certainly with the attacking players that we have, I think we can do a lot of damage to other teams, providing Southgate lets us do that and doesn't put the shackles on them. Geordie says, were you surprised with the team selection today? I thought Southgate should have gone with Sterling and Sancho on the wing and Foden behind Kane, unless that's a plan for the future. It may well be. Look, I think Southgate put out the team today to get a result. That is in no doubt for me. He put that team out to get a result. Now, whether it was going to be a 1-0 or a 2-0, it doesn't matter. He put those two defensive midfielders in because if we score, we've got a lot at the back, and it was very, very difficult for Croatia to break us down. Certainly the work Calvin Phillips put in and Declan Rice, we stopped them. We didn't let them get into any particular rhythm. Perisic was kept out of the game, which I think was very important. Kovacic was getting very frustrated as the match went on. So for me, it was great to see. But Calvin Phillips, the amount of work he put in, I think, was fantastic. And like Jermaine Jenner said during the commentary, I think the niggly little fouls, it just stopped. It stopped Croatia getting any kind of impetus on the game, any kind of enthusiasm. The attack kept breaking down, which got them very frustrated. So it was good to see. But that's what we have to do. We have to maintain this kind of pressure. But I want to see Harry Kane further up the pitch. I mean, a lot's been said of him coming back and into the midfield area, and trying to dictate play. For me, we've got players that can maybe already do that. I'd like to see Harry Kane maybe just sort of staying up front and getting onto those balls, because we've got the players that can provide him with a lot of chances. So I'd love to see Harry Kane just stay forward. But whether Southgate tells him that or not, I don't know. Honestly, I think other teams will look at us and think we're going to be hard to beat. Yeah, they will, undoubtedly, because we do have a very, very, I was very impressed with Kyle Walker today. Very, very level-headed player. And did a great job today. John Stones has impressed me all season, to be honest, since he's come back into Man City's side. And he was very vocal today, very strong. Tyrone Mings, for me, is the iffy one. Did nothing wrong today, obviously, but I think looking forward, I'd rather have Maguire there. And left back, I'd rather see Chilwell or Shaw, to be honest. Probably Luke Shaw, because I'm a big fan of Luke Shaw. I think he bombs up and down that left-hand side. And, chances can be created if we have a left-footed player there who can fizz the ball across the box. Paul says, as you know, Paul, I'm not a fan of Southgate, too defensive and not a winning mentality, but it's 3 points, and I hope he proves me wrong. Yeah, that's a fair comment, Paul. Glad we got the 3 points, but the game was fairly boring. They always are, these first games, Lewis. They always are very boring. There's not really a lot going on in the match. I mean, we stifled Croatia. Certainly the second half, once we got that goal, there was a little spell where Croatia, obviously, they had to come straight back onto us to try and get back in the game. But we just stifled everything they tried. We just stamped out all their attacking impetus. And, at the end of the day, we did what we had to do. And I think it was more important to get the 3 points today. What's your thoughts on Ben White not starting ahead of Mings? Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not Mings' biggest fan. I think people know that. But to be fair, he did nothing wrong today. Pizzas Calvin Phillips, superb, good win. Certainly was. It's coming home, says Geordie. Is it coming home, Paul, says Stephen. I'm not going to judge that just yet. I mean, if anybody did watch the prediction show that me and Jayde did on Thursday night, if you haven't, go back and watch it, because I go on the UEFA website, and obviously I go through we go through the group stages, the last 16, the quarterfinal, all the way to the final, and it ended up being France against England in the final. So obviously me and Jayde both went with England because we're English. We want to see England win, but it'd be fantastic if we got that far. Croatia are a good team, and we controlled them. I cannot see us winning it, but we could go far. You never know. I mean, like I say, I think we're better on the front foot against the other teams. The bigger teams. I think we are much better going at them, attacking, and that's really what I want to see moving forward in the tournament. Do you want Foden to play the full 90 minutes every game if he's fit? It depends, really. I mean, Southgate may, if we are 2 or 3 goals up against Scotland, for example, on Friday, there's no need to keep certain players on. We can give players a rest. I think it was the right decision to bring Harry Kane off today. For me, Harry Kane wasn't at his best today. He put himself about, but he wasn't at his best. And this coming too deep to get the ball for me is a problem sometimes. I'd like to see Harry just stay right up where he can get onto the balls that are coming in from the likes of Sterling, Foden, Grealish if he plays, Mason Mount. Those kind of players will provide for Harry Kane. He doesn't have to come all the way back. So he kind of give Harry Kane a rest today. So I think that was a good move. But going forward, it depends. Who's starting to tire, who is looking tired. Do we have the luxury to be able to bring a couple of our star players off? Because if we do, then yeah, against Scotland and against the Czech Republic, that's fine by me if he does that. Obviously, once we get into the knockout stages, that becomes a different story. Depending on if we're losing a game, we need to get back in the game. You just don't take your best players off the field at all. Paul says you need to get out in the sun. Paul, get some colour on your face tomorrow night. The Four Horsemen isn't on tomorrow night. Did put out a tweet earlier in the week. We aren't going to be on for the next couple of weeks because of obviously the Euros and the 8 o'clock kickoffs, etc. While there's 3 games and 2 games going on a day, we will be back on Monday, the 5th of July. So we're just having a few weeks off from the Horsemen, the summer break. 5th of July, we will be back. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Steve says 50 million is not a lot for a Premier League team these days. Totally. Good afternoon, Judy. Drunk off my face in the beer garden. Woo, and drop a like. Thanks very much. Yeah, if you are enjoying the show, guys, please do hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel but like what you see, please do consider subscribing. And if you would like to donate to the channel, super chats are available. Just hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments and donate what you can. You don't have to, but that's just to help us with the running costs of the channel. Bede says, it's interesting who gets out of the group of death, Portugal, Germany, and France. I mean, that is some group. It really is. And, it was so hard when we did our prediction show on Thursday to maybe think about who was going to finish where in that group. Germany, for me, are coming into this probably not at their best. France, for me, are my winners of the tournament. I really do think France will win the tournament. So I think they'll get out of it. And I think Portugal may well get ahead of Germany. But we know what the Germans are like. We know that they come good in tournaments, even though they haven't played well in the build-up. So it'll be interesting to see. Foden is supposed to be the next big England star, so I'd like to see as much of him as possible. Yeah. I think you'll have a big influence, Geordie. I do. I think you'll have a big influence on the tournament. Good afternoon, Jules. Hope you're well, buddy. Croatia were very poor today. Yeah, they were, but I think that's because we didn't let them. I think, we kept them at bay. Like I said earlier, we stifled them. We stopped them getting any momentum because of, Phillips winning the ball or giving little fouls away. Just stopped their momentum coming forward at us. And that was great to see for me. I thought, that's why Phillips was in the team. Layla says, what's your thoughts on Kiefer Moore as a backup to Wilson? But I think it was suit a Burnley type style since they pumped 1 million balls into the box. Yeah, he scored yesterday, but I'm not sure if he's Premier League level. Time will tell. Steve says, really, I thought Walker was terrible, at least in the first half. Again, it's opinion, Steve. I don't think he was. I think he was pretty sound today. But again, it's all going to be based on opinions, and that's why we do these reaction shows, because I like to see what other people thought of the game. Bede, I was shocked by Sterling's inclusion, but Southgate got it spot on. Should give him more confidence moving forward. That's what it's all about with Raheem Sterling. He's a confidence player, isn't he? Without a shadow of a doubt, he thrives on confidence, and that goal today and his performance in general will certainly give him massive confidence moving forward in the tournament. And I think it'd be very exciting to see if he can just get that really, really going in the next couple of games and get a few more goals, so that when we do move into the knockouts, we are really on fire and really confident to scoring lots of goals. Geordie says, which other matches are you looking forward to watching within the next week? France against Germany on Tuesday is certainly the pay-per-view match. Yeah, France against Germany stands out a million miles. But obviously the England-Scotland game on Friday, cannot wait for that. Cannot wait. It's a long time since we've played them, and I think, I know it won't be a full stadium, but the atmosphere will be superb at Wembley, and hopefully we can really go to town on them, because that is what we want to do. Absolutely smash them, get the confidence right up going into the Czech game and then into the knockouts. He says, what's your thoughts on Pickford Henderson? Sorry if you've had this a million times. You know what? Pickford did all right today. I think his kicking was a bit dodgy, if I have to, criticize him in any shape or form. His distribution wasn't great, but he looked confident coming for crosses. He was certainly sharp when he came out in the second half for that ball. There was a couple of times the Trippier header he had to be spot on for. And also there was a little flick on, I think, towards the end of the game, which he came out and did well with. So he was very alert. He was very quick off his line when he needed to be. I just hope that his obviously distribution gets a bit better as time goes by. Andrew says, I have to be a wee bit better than that Friday. We'll see, Andrew. We'll see. Croatia are no joke, and it was 28 degrees. 1-0 is a fair result and a great start for us. Definitely. Totally agree. Geordie says the tournament has just started, so give it time and I'm sure we'll get interesting. Can't complain with today's result because a win is a win and that's all that matters. Of course it is. And listen, at the end of the day, it's the opening game of the tournament. We know from the past, opening games are very cagey affairs. They're not very exciting because nobody wants to lose the opening games. And I think that's just what happened today. Croatia ended up getting a lot more frustrated than England did. We played perfect tactics today. We stifled them in every position. We stopped them getting forward. We stopped any momentum that they had. And I think, putting that kind of performance in today was great. Just to get the 3 points, get the game out the way, and look forward now to maybe going a bit more attacking against Scotland and a bit in the Czech Republic. Jake says Kane should have had a second a few minutes after Sterling's. Yes, he should have. He just couldn't reach it. But I think as the tournament goes on, sharpness comes in. I think we'll be fine. Andrew says Croatia are old. Modric controlled midfield better. Younger pace in the middle. They would have scored. I'm not too sure, Andrew. I know you're Scottish, but the guys in the middle of the park for England today did very well, and I think you'll struggle to get by us on Friday without a shadow of a doubt. Beat said we have a lot of depth. Grealish, Sancho, etc. on the bench. Bodes well. Hopefully go deep in the tournament. Exactly. We've got players still to come in. The likes of Sancho, the likes of Grealish. So they may well get a run out against Scotland, and I think that'll prove very, very difficult for Scotland. Andrew says star players without pace in the middle will be fine. Don't worry. Serious question. Would you take Clark as NUFC manager? Not a chance in hell. Are you doing a Euros fan forum? Yeah, I want to do a fan forum, and I've spoken to Jayde about it. She wants to do it as well, but it's fitting it in. With the games timed as they are, we may have to do like a fans forum at sort of, like 7 o'clock for an hour before the 8 p.m. kickoffs. So I am looking where to fit them in, but there will be a couple of fan forums during the Euros. Yes, Geordie. So just keep your eye open on my Twitter. Keep your eyes open on the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell, and then obviously you'll get to know when any programs are due to come on. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Troll says 2 boring weeks then without 3 weeks without the 4 horsemen. I'm sorry, but we are due a break. Let's say it's nice just to have a bit of time off, and it makes it more exciting for when it comes back. Trolls. Andrew says you got wide players. That's it. There's nothing in the middle. Modric showed you that. Andrew, behave, will you? Modric was just completely ineffective today. Modric did nothing because Phillips stopped him every single time. How the hell did Modric control that midfield today? Come on, Andrew. Let's be a bit more sensible here. I know you're a sensible lad. Let's not talk crap like that, to be honest. Judy says, hiya, Chip, is you sexy love lion. Oh, my goodness. Andrew Fraser is going to destroy Walker. We'll see. Belgium, don't forget them, Paul. Yeah, Belgium looked really good against Russia, didn't they? Even without De Bruyne and Witsel as well. I mean, I know Hazard came on for the last, 15, 20 minutes just to get a bit of a run out, I think, for Hazard. So they can only get better. But, it's going to be an excellent tournament for me. Once these group stages are out of the way, you move into the knockouts, and all the big hitters start playing against each other. It's going to be tremendous. Looking forward to it. The reason why Croatia today is they have a lot of itch names, but butts were itching. Maybe so. Anton says Germany and France go through for him. You can see Germany doing it, can't you? Because of how they've been in the past. Germany are that kind of team. So many times in the past they've been written off before tournaments, and then suddenly the tournament starts and they become world beaters again. You just never write the Germans off. It's a crazy thing to do. Jake says assist for the goal came through the middle. Exactly. Portugal third, says Anton. I think I think whoever finishes third in that group will still go through as a best placed third. So we'll see. Exactly against an aging slow midfield. Ali says, do you think Calvin Phillips should start every game? Based on today's performance, I think he's earned the right to do that. I mean, a lot of the Leeds fans that subscribe to my channel have always rated this guy. And was I unsure about him starting today? Yes, I was. I wanted to see Grealish in, but watching him play, just ruling out any kind of Croatian attack, and you could see how frustrated they were getting. Kovacic and Modric just got so annoyed because they weren't being allowed to play, and that's what we needed to do. Phillips did it perfectly, so I think he's played his way into the starting 11. Now, has Southgate got the bottle and the balls to drop Declan Rice if he's going to play a Jack Grealish or a Jordan Sancho. Jayden Sancho. It'll be very interesting to see. Very interesting on Friday. Modric controlled the game at 35. Andrew, I'm not having it, mate. You're a lot more sensible than that. Yeah. What's your thoughts on KP? Would you take him at Newcastle? Yes. Andrew says, oh, I did, Jake. Don't worry. We all did, and we're all waiting to play that. So, Andrew, you could end up with a lot of egg on your face on Friday with silly comments. You could really end up looking like an absolute fool. Joyce says, Calvin Phillips and Hendo should be our holding midfielders as Foden in front of them. I'm not sure about Henderson at the minute, Geordie. I don't think he's fit, and we cannot afford to put unfit players into this team. We have to be at it from the word go in this tournament. And yes, you know, admittedly, we've got two very easier games coming up against Scotland, or what should be easier games against Scotland and the Czechs. I'm not saying they're going to be easy games. The Scotland game won't be an easy game because they'll be so up for it. But I think our quality will shine through against Scotland. I think the Czechs will probably be out by the time we play them if Scotland beat them tomorrow. So for me, it all starts to mount up, and I just want our players to be right on the ball from the word go. And I don't think Henderson's fit. We'll see. We'll see. If Modric could run, he would have ruined you. Whatever, Andrew. Kept wondering why Pickford kept going long for Sterling. He's not going to win any headers, to be fair. I didn't understand that. I mean, you know, you've got Harry Kane through the middle, who is so much taller than the likes of Sterling and Foden. And I don't understand why we were trying to play balls out to Raheem Sterling on the touchline, who, let's face it, isn't going to win many headers in that position. So why not, you know, either pass out from the back or, you know, aim for Kane. He can maybe bring it down or nod it back to the midfielders, and we build from there. So that's where I think he went wrong with his distribution today, and that's why I was a little disappointed, to be fair. I didn't quite understand that. Bellingham did more than Rice did all game. Yeah, he did well when he came on, made some very, very good tackles, vital tackles actually, during the game. So yeah, again, I'm not sure I understand all the fuss about Declan Rice. Do I think he's a good player? Yes. But do I think he's a bit overhyped? Yes, I do. I'll be honest. And on today's performances, you know, Phillips totally outshined him. Totally outshone him. Keith, good afternoon. Hi, Paul. Hope you're okay. Good win today. Andrew says, no, you didn't, Paul. Modric controlled the middle. They were just shit up front. Come on. Come on. England made Croatia look ordinary. Scotland won't qualify, says Derek. Andrew, Croatia were ordinary. A faster side would have walloped you. He's going to look, Andrew, you're going to look a complete arse, an absolute complete arse on Friday. And I just hope you've got the bottle to come on the match reaction after that game, because you're going to get mullered. I think Scotland could beat that Croatia side, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit against saying anything good about Scotland due to Andrew's comments at the minute. But yeah, Modric 3 years ago would have destroyed you. That's 3 years ago, Andrew. That's not now. That's not now. He was average today, and we made him look average. Lloyd, good afternoon. Croatia are a good team. We made look average. It's coming home. I'm loving the it's coming home. I think a lot of people are really hyped up for the tournament now. You know what? The thing is, you know, before the last couple of tournaments, the Euros and World Cup, you were seeing loads of England flags in the cars and stuff like that, and flags hanging from bedroom windows. I haven't seen hardly any of that this year. But I think after today, you know, the first game's out the way, we've won. I think after today, maybe we will start to see that a little bit more now. You know, a few more flags going on the cars, outside in the gardens and things like that. So hopefully we will. And we build up that momentum from a fan point of view as well. Judy says, can I do just Monday jokes seeing you've got 3 weeks to go? No, you'll have to save them up, Judy, I'm afraid. What I would say, Scotland's two left backs are better than England's, Tierney and Robertson. Yes, I'd agree with that. They are tremendous left backs. Paul, hope the Jocks win tomorrow, just so it'll be sweeter when we dash their hopes on Friday. Exactly what I said, Paul. I'd love that to happen. Really would. Calvin Phillips, man of the match. Yep. Your fullbacks are terrible. No pace in the middle. You've got wide players. That's it. Andrew, you keep repeating yourself. And I won't be told to F off, Andrew, unfortunately. So you're going into timeout. Very, very disappointing to see that, Andrew, considering the the amount of time that you have on this channel. I'm very disappointed with that comment. Phillips was the first Leeds player since David Batty to get an assist in the tournament for England. Graham Jones bringing it home. Annie, good afternoon. Good performance, and I thought the back line was solid. Yeah, there were. You know, let's face it, they didn't have an opportunity, Croatia, today. They didn't really test Pickford, and we didn't let them. That's the difference. I know, you know, we can see all along that Pickford didn't have a save to make. We didn't let them get any decent shots at him. And that's what was so good to see. England would not have wanted Dave Jones. He didn't have my knowledge. Okay, Steve. Steve Bruce trying to take a bit of credit. Holloway, Czech Republic, smash the wee jocks tomorrow. Ali says, why did Southgate bring Henderson in if he's not fit? A player like Ward-Prowse or Lingard should have got picked. Ali, we said this. I said this in when we were talking about the last Tuesday night when we did the England squad show. You know, I said this. I thought, you know, it's crazy when you've got somebody like Ward-Prowse there and Henderson's not fully fit. If you still want Henderson around because of his leadership skills or his experience, still have him around the squad. But if he's injured, then he's injured. Simple as that. But still, you can still bring him and have him around this. He doesn't have to be a member of the squad. He can be around the team. Just give him that. Give the players his experience. But for me, Ward-Prowse should have been in there without a shadow of a doubt. Daniil, hi, Paul. Great results. Certainly was. Annie says, Paul, they're not trying to aim Foden's or Sterling's head. They were finding space in behind the Croatian fullbacks and they were running behind them. I know, but we didn't see that too much because I think Pickford's distribution wasn't good enough today, Annie. I thought Phillips was a star. Agreed, mate. Croatia couldn't really create anything. Chippers, I wouldn't judge just before you lot have played. If you lose tomorrow, the egg on your face will be massive. Who's this Andrew Fool? Well, I've put him out, to be honest, because I'm not being spoken to like that, especially when I thought, you know, he does make a lot of nice comments to the shows, but I won't be spoken to like that. Here, Keith. Tony says, we were okay, but nothing amazing, to be honest, Paul. Good result, but I'm not that convinced. Let's give it time, Tony. Let's see how the tournament builds on. We'll always get some strange decisions from Southgate. That's the thing. We'll always will. Scotland is shy. They will get knocked out of the tournament sooner rather than later. Clark Carver says it all. I mean, I wouldn't be comfortable with Clark Carver, to be fair. Why, Tony? We've just been a World Cup finalist game of the tournament. In the first game of the tournament, sorry. We've never won a first game ever. Yeah, that's got to be looked at as well. You know, at the end of the day, Croatia are World Cup finalists. Keith says England and Scotland to qualify. Scotland are a poor side. They have a bit of pride. We'll give their all. England win 2-0. It's coming home, says Annie. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Steve says there's a house past the church in Saxon with a canny few flags. Sorry, that's one of the few I have seen. Yeah, I've seen a couple in Saxon. Obviously, I live there as well. So, you know, there is a few, but not as many as I'd love to see. England dealt with Modric okay. Their midfield functioned well, but the rest of the team was poor. Defence did their job. Yeah, did what they had to do. Simple as that. Would you have Pickford or Darlow in net? Do you know what? I can't say anything against Pickford today because for England, he doesn't seem to do anything wrong. I thought he was a shooter today, came for crosses, did what he needed to do, and, you know, he's vocal and he certainly looked safe today. His distribution was poor. And I think he'll obviously, if the England coaches have picked that up, then I'm sure that we'll see a bit more improvement as the tournament goes on. He'll work on that in training. But to be honest, I don't have a problem with Pickford playing for England. Henderson was picked because he can do card tricks. Yeah, that was according to Roy Keane. I saw that. That was brilliant. Injured players are passengers, exactly. I think most people aren't going full on with flags, etc., because we've been disappointed too many times. That's a good point. You know, sick of getting built up, and then we always seem to fall at the last hurdle, kind of thing. Josh says Shelby in defence, Shelby in midfield, Shelby in attack, and you'll never look back. Yeah, I don't think so. Terry says good result today. Phillips was good in my opinion. He was brilliant, man of the match for me. The press was the most impressive thing. Yeah, I did like the way we did that. You know, when the Croatians were trying to play out, we pressed them hard, and obviously we forced them into a few mistakes, whether we're kicking it out to play or they were losing the ball, and that was good to see. Really good to see, and I hope that continues on. Jake says, I know you don't like talking about it, mate, but hope Newcastle get that takeover and we get some Toon players in the squad in our lifetime. Miss Shearer up front. You and me both, mate. Paul says, really don't think we need two holding midfielders. Rice was invisible today. He's not bad. He's not a bad player, but one is enough. I agree. And I think that's what I said earlier. Calvin Phillips completely outshone him today. Ali says Southgate needs to grow some balls and pick a starting 11, which he sticks by, so England can build an identity to their play, which they don't have. I agree. It'll be interesting to see what he does on Friday, but I'd like to see him go a lot more attacking. Annie said Pickford all day long in my starting lineup. Yep. Thing is, Rice staying back, let Phillips get further up to make the assist. I guess it did, but you know, like I say, I just think Phillips was everywhere on that pitch today. And you know, Rice, if you're looking at players who broke the play up, a lot of the time it was Phillips all the time. He was getting the tackles in. He was making those little fouls. He was breaking their play up, and I think that's what stands out for me more than anything. Pickford didn't have much to do, says Keith. He certainly didn't. Pickford's handling was assured. Yep, definitely. The Jocks will be back practicing how to play the bagpipes soon after they're knocked out of the tournament. Wasn't there a political ban on people putting English flags out from the last World Cup? People being told to take them down. There was something going on like that. But to be honest, I think that's a load of crap, in my opinion. Let's look at the Scotland game now. I mean, I will be doing a recorded preview of that one, or try and get a live show in somewhere along this week. The Scotland game, I think we need to go a bit more attacking. I do. I don't really think we should. There's any need, or we should play two defensive midfielders against Scotland. I think Southgate should take the shackles off and let us go for the throat of Scotland, because I think if we do that, like I say, we're much better doing that. We've got the talent up front. We certainly look assured, and we've got the defenders to keep them out. Let's just go and try and get a few goals. Try and get a 3-0 win. Really, really start building up this tournament. Get the fans right into it. It's a big opportunity, this, for Southgate to say, right, let's give the fans something to really cheer here. Let's go for some goals, and let's start getting other teams worried about England, you know? Thinking, Christ, look at that performance by England. Look at the goals they scored today. Let's do that. Let's put the shitters up all the other big teams to think that England are really bang on form, and are bang on form right at the right time. And I think that's what we need to focus on the most. Tony says Mings was solid today and Phillips was good box to box. That's the role he used to play before Bielsa converted him into a holder. And Mings was definitely better today. Stark Grealish versus Scotland. I'd agree, Daniil, without a doubt. We used to have two world-class keepers and really good central defenders. Now we haven't any. Smash the Jocks. Howie Man wasn't personal. Yeah. As a Leeds fan, I can definitely say Grealish can win a penalty or two against Liam Cooper. Listen, Grealish is a game changer in that way. You can win your free kicks just outside the box. You can win your penalties. And that's why I thought he played today. But then again, going against Scotland and the Czech Republic, obviously we'll probably see him play in a couple of games there. I know what you're saying, mate, but it was Croatia, not France or an informed Brazil. We've supposedly got the best league and the most expensive squad. I think we could outplay, have more intent. Yeah, and that's what I want to see, Paul. That's what I want to see against Scotland. More intent to score some goals. Spain may win the Euros, says Haroon. We'll see. Right, that's it for Match Reaction Live for the England-Scotland game. It's been an absolute pleasure again, as I just destroy my microphone. Like I say, I'm not sure when the live shows will be coming up. We will be doing a fan forum at some point, a preview for the Scotland game. I also will be doing some Newcastle United recorded videos based on sort of any transfer news or news around the club. They'll still keep coming in. We've got to try and, we've got to try and get more into it or try and work out where I'm going to put in these live shows, because it's so damn difficult with the kickoff times. I've thought about doing some streams on a morning with any news and things like that, but we'll see. Just keep an eye on the channel, and also just keep an eye on Twitter as well, and I'll let you know when the tournaments when the programs are coming on. But at the minute, I don't quite know. Andrew, look, at the end of the day, I don't like being swore at, mate. So that's why I cut you off. Saying that you're going to not comment on the channel anymore. You can have an opinion. I just don't like getting sworn at. That's taking the opinion too far. But if you want to comment on the show, you're perfectly welcome to, mate. I'm not going to stop you. I like you coming on. But, you know, just watch your language, basically. Grealish has to start against Scotland. And a lot of people seem to be agreeing with that. Stay safe, everyone. See you later. All awesome. Cheers, Anton. Have a good one, gang, and have fun. It's a must. I know you're a proud jock, Andrew, and that's what I like about you, mate. You do just let's bygones be bygones, mate. Let's move on, and we'll see you on the next show. I think the problem is things can spiral out of control when it comes to patriotism in international games. Yeah, without a doubt. Andrew, you can have an opinion, but you can't take when people have one back. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think Andrew's definitely looking forward to Scotland's tournament, and I'm looking forward to seeing how well Scotland do, to be honest. I just don't like being sworn at, that's all. I know Andrew's a good lad anyway. I know he is. See, Paul, have fun or else. Don't unsubscribe, Andrew. That's a bit unnecessary, mate. But seriously, may the best team win. Nice to see us all come together and sing Southgate. You're the one, still turn me on. Hopefully, we'll be singing that more and more as the tournament goes on. Good result. Mings is lucky the Croatia forwards are starting, but France against Germany, I see him struggling. I'm hoping he'll not be in them games. Kids watching the show, so no need for bad language from anyone unless it's a Monday night show. Exactly. That's the only reason, James, that I cut him off was because of the language. But hey ho, have a good day all. Right, that's it for today, guys. Like I say, keep an eye on the channel for the next programs coming up. The recorded ones, the live ones. There'll be a lot more coming up over the next couple of weeks. But the next match reaction will, of course, be England against Scotland. It'll be at 10 o'clock on Friday night, straight after the game. Really looking forward to that. And who will win? Will it be England? Will it be Scotland? It'll be a massive game. But in the meantime, guys, keep your eye open for any recorded videos, things like that. And I'll catch you later. Take care. Enjoy your week. Be strong.